How does like there are no macros local? Okay, never mind. They're there. Let's see if they're there. Let us see if they're there. Hmm. Alright, so first let's just say that this is a melee hunter, but let's just go ahead and call it a melee hybrid, because we are going to use, like most of my melee hunters, we do allow some use of the bow, but mostly just to bypass kind of the initial leveling process, because it's kind of a pain to level from 1 to 10 without the bow. It just kind of sucks, to be honest. But once we get the pet, then the melee really begins. What's up, Bus? How you doing? You got off Nordar, get ready to work today. I saw that AmberShire hit a peak. Yeah, I know. Unbelievable, right? Do we need the swing timer on here? Did I even use swing timer? Hold on a second. Did we use this? We didn't use the swing timer, right? No, we don't use swing timer. Never mind. We don't need it. Don't need no stinking swing timer. Yeah, it's pretty insane that it hit that many people today. Absolutely insane. I don't know what Turtle. Something's happened with Turtle Wow. Like I can't. My Windows key does not release. Like I cannot get to my left monitor. Like it's just like I don't know what Turtle Wow did. But when I put the game in windowed full screen, it's not really windowed full screen. It's like full screen. Like I cannot you normally I could hit like my Windows key and it'd bring up. I could see my taskbar at the bottom of the screen. Turtle Wow must have done something, and I don't know what they did. Or maybe I did something. But it's kind of weird. Hey, what's up? What's up, Biggie? You know what? We did this. I wonder if we should we do a high elf? I don't know if we should do it. Nah, I don't think so. I like night elf too much to do like a high elf, right? Sorry, but I'm just trying to finish this quest. She's like trying to kill the same mobs I kill. I'm like, I just need 2 more. How fast can we get to level 10? That's the question. I hate having that window way over here. It's really annoying. It's a quest window. is there no sound in game is what I want to know. We got no sound in the game. All right, time to pay to win, baby. Pay to win. Right? Boom. Bada bing. Bada boom. One big bag.
Feel free to browse.
All right, do we have anything worth wearing? Probably not. We have the Doctor's gloves. Good. I have done the slow and steady, and it is slow as shit. It is very, very slow. It is incredibly slow. I did these slow and steady exhaustion hardcore. I think I got to like around level 20 or something, and it was just like, holy crap, it was going to take forever, you know? It would take forever. Most people on the server are doing the, most people on the server are doing the, they're allowing them to use rest time, the tents, to increase their to level on rest time. Which, when you've played the game as long as I have, it's kind of cool to do slow and steady, but at a certain point too, you get kind of tired of it. You're like, I've leveled characters in vanilla WoW like hundreds of times, if not thousands of times. So you're like, do I really want to make the leveling journey that much slower? You know what I mean? It's the same, I think. It's 50%, so it's basically the same as it. Actually, it's in the Explorer's contract, you still get the same amount of experience, right, for discovering zones, so actually slow and steady is actually worse.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Right? So slow and steady is actually worse than the Explorer's contract. At least the Explorer's contract, if you discover a new area, you get the full experience for that, and slow and steady, I'm pretty sure you don't. We don't talk about Epoch over here. Epoch's a dead server. They already banned they were banning a bunch of people for real money transactions on Epoch. They said they already banned hundreds. Hey, what's up, Naga? So I don't know. Yeah, and Turtle WoW hit a new all-time high of over 13,000 players. You look at the X post, which is just insane to think that there were over 30. So the population on this server, it's I don't know if it's going up necessarily, but it's not going down, that's for sure. It's not going down. Last weekend the peak was I guess we can grab this person since we're both hardcore. Last week the peak was around 11,500, and this weekend the peak was around 13,500, so went up quite a bit. Yeah, which is hard to believe, right? It's hard to believe that Nordinar is still sitting at that many people. Yeah, it's hard to believe. Hey, McGiggles, what's up? Yeah, I kind of was missing my hunter a little bit, you know what I mean? I was playing the paladin, I got the paladin like level 29, and I was like, man, I kind of was missing the hunter a little bit. Everybody knows I love the melee hunter. It happens every time. Every time I level a character in vanilla WoW, I usually get him to around 30, and then I always feel the need to like jump on a different character just to as like take a break from the other character. You know, you level to 30. I always do that. Like it's because I've played WoW so long. I can't level a character from 1 to 60 straight without being like, ah. You're glad they both go. Oh yeah, yeah. I was worried about that too. I was worried that well, what I thought was before AmberShire came out, I said that I thought Nordinar would lose about. I said they'd probably lose like 40% of their population, and I was wrong. They didn't. They lost like maybe I don't know 10% maybe. It wasn't much, right? I really thought they'd lose like a certain amount. Yeah, it wasn't that much. There's more than 10% of Epoch that's probably left Epoch to come play AmberShire. You know what I mean? So you were just getting off the game? Yeah, I don't know how long I'm gonna be on. I just wanted to get to. I want to see if I could get to level 10. Get my pet. I just created this character like a few minutes ago, so. Is the hunter up here? I guess it is.
I am honored. Go in peace.
Hey, Mr. Rogers, what's up? Oh, you like the new update? Yeah, I hadn't leveled up on Turtle WoW in so long that honestly I really didn't know. This is a lot better. Everyone is more spread out with all the new zones. Oh, I got you. So there's more, yeah, more spread out. Yeah, there's definitely more content. That's for sure. There's a lot more content. So. You and your fertile, man. You and your fertile. You and the fertile. Now, do we want to go skinning on this character? Because that's going to be... We could just go skinning leatherworking if we wanted to. I probably will just go skinning leatherworking. Either, or we could go, I think, jewel crafting, right? I think there's jewel crafting, isn't there? But getting ore and stuff is... I'm just going to go skinning, because getting ore and stuff on this server is like a pain in the ass. But that's just it, though. I mean, you get some early game necklaces, but you got to go through the problem of trying to actually find ore nodes, which is actually really... I know because I have mining on my paladin. Like, finding those nodes and not fighting everybody else for them is really difficult. Like, it's not easy. Whereas skinning is super easy. You just kill something, you skin it. So, we're going to be able to create, like, the armor packs and, you know, gear that we can actually use, which for hardcore should be pretty cool. I don't believe that I can use the auction house on a hardcore character on Turtle WoW, so... You know, being able to make my own gear is going to be pretty useful, actually. Yeah, the armor packs is it's a nice improvement, isn't it, with the armor packs? And I don't even know what else they've done with it. I'm sure there's more stuff with leatherworking, like different recipes and whatnot, so... First age 26. Well, the cool thing is I definitely like going hardcore because that way I can use my Turtle WoW credits to buy things, and if I ever get tired of the character or I ever want my credits back, I just kill my character off. I just kill my character off and get all my credits back. I never feel bad about using my Turtle WoW credits on a hardcore character. But I don't plan on killing this character off. So I did kill off my level 37 hardcore hunter on Nordnar, just so I could recoup those Turtle WoW credits to use on characters on AmberShire. I have no plans to play back on Nordnar again. You know, all my characters are going to stay on, you know, here on AmberShire. So obviously, AmberShire is the only place I'm playing right now. I'm not playing any versions of WoW right now other than just AmberShire. And that's all I want. I just want one server I can play on. I don't want to fuck around and be, you know, playing on different servers. So, let's go ahead and finish this real quick. Yeah, let's go ahead. No, let's go back. I think we turned this. I can't remember if we. No, let's kill the spiders, I guess, real quick. Yeah, E-flop. Definitely didn't flop. Play it now. What, E-flop? What's up, Blake? Good old E-flop. Good old E-flop. Warriors need some fixing. Hunters are 2 OP on E-flop. Yeah, this is AmberShire. Yeah, I probably should put that in the title of the stream. I apologize. Yeah. I'll add that to the stream title. AmberShire. Server AmberShire. Alright, cool. Damn it. Thought I had that mob targeted. Guess not. A lot of people. This server hit 13,500 people today. That's just insane. It's like insanity. 13,500 people. Yeah, hunters are always strong, especially well in PvP. Yeah, I mean, if you go into any battleground, I mean, if you go into any early battleground in almost any version of World of Warcraft, hunters OP. I mean, that's just the way hunters are in PvP. You know, even in PvE, to be honest, because I mean, once you get a pet, I mean, early game hunter's pretty strong, but hunter slowly tapers off. From 40 to 60, hunter slowly kind of tapers, right? Most classes start to catch up, and by 50. Most classes typically will start to eclipse a hunter. Just depends on what version of WoW you're talking about, though. Yeah, I feel so bad that Volst is in the hospital. That just sucks for him, you know? Because he was so excited to play here, you know? So it just sucks. This kind of sucks. These guys are all spawning right on top of me.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
You and your fertile WoW, man. You and your fertile WoW. What? Eat flop for the win. E flop flopped, so I E dipped. So I dipped. I was playing on Epoch, and I just felt like Turtle WoW has a better established base. Felt like Turtle WoW. I just didn't trust. I didn't trust Katos and his team. I just didn't trust him. You know, it's great they got it running. Server's running pretty cool. Looks like I love the client, obviously, but long term, I felt more confident that Turtle WoW was going to put out a better product. You know, long term. So we'll see what happens, right? We shall see what happens. How much money we got? 3, 2 points. Yeah, community's way better. Like if you just go to, I just went to the Epoch forums today, and you just look at the total just cesspool that is their general chat. It's just pathetic, to be honest. It's really bad. It is not good. Yeah, I think AmberShire has won the private server war at this point. The other thing too, like I said, is the population of AmberShire has gone up this weekend versus last weekend, and when I look at Project Epoch, the population on Kazan is actually, every time I look, it's less. It's going down. So it's going down on Kazan, whereas AmberShire is going up. AmberShire had 13,500 people today, which is just an insane number of players. Yeah, 5,200, which is not that many, really. Yeah, which is insane. The fact that Northern still has over 9,000 players while AmberShire has like 13,000 is just kind of blows your mind, doesn't it? To me, that says a lot of people that were going to play Epoch. Actually, to me, that says a lot of people that were going to play Epoch are playing AmberShire. It is winning. Shenna's winning. Just saying that they should have kept the bun in the oven and let it cook longer. Is that what that was all about? Yeah, who knows? What do you want Shanna to admit? That she's behind Turtle WoW? Is that what you're saying? I mean, Shanna definitely is a part of Turtle WoW, I'm pretty sure. I mean, isn't that Shanna's voice on the intro cinematics? The Shanna, as far as I understand, is Russian or something. I thought. I could be wrong though. I mean, you know how the internet works, right? I'm just going off what I've heard, so there's no truth to. into any of that. I don't know who Torta is, but Torta used to message me all the time back in 2018 when Turtle WoW first started, and I was streaming Classic WoW or Private Server WoW, and I started streaming Turtle WoW, and Torta saw me streaming and started talking to me and trying to convince me to stream more. And, you know, this is back when Turtle WoW just started, and Torta is, I think Torta is Shenna. I don't know for sure, but kind of feel like Torta is Shenna. Is Torta Nivey and Shenna? I used to talk to Torta, and then her Discord account disappeared, right? And I asked her about that recently, or asked whoever Torta is, right? And I said, because there is a Torta on the Discord, right? If you go to Discord for Turtle WoW, right? If you go Turtle WoW and you look at the Discord, there is a Torta who's not on very often though, right? And then when you look at the posts, like if you look at the posts on the Turtle WoW, I think on, let's see, on X, I think they're done by, I don't know if they're done by Torta, but anyways, if you go to my private messages here, you can see that I messaged Torta, and I said, Tess, please ignore. I said, I guess your original Discord account is gone. And then this person, she responded, or whoever, hello there. Yes, at one point we had migrated team communications to a self-hosted chat, but eventually decided to get back here. It's my second account. So this is the original Torta. And I couldn't find my original, you know, Torta message. Probably because the user was deleted. Yeah, anyways, whatever. Anyways, just thought it was interesting. Yeah. Anyways, Torta has always been nice to me, whoever it is. Torta's always been nice to me. You know, I really should hit my trainer before I... Oh, well. No, Turtle WoW's been around for 8 or 9 years. The shenanigans around Elysium, I think, are long gone. They don't need to do that stuff anymore. They're making millions on Turtle WoW. The people that are running Turtle WoW are making tons of money. The shenanigans that went on Elysium, you know, they don't need to do that anymore. They don't need to do any... They don't need to sell gold on their own server to make money because they're already making a shit ton of money. Right? I think they learned a long time ago that just make the cash shop. Put nice cosmetics in the cash shop, put some mounts in the cash shop, and you're going to make a ton of money, right? And that's what they've done. Well, they're making shit ton of money. They're making millions a year, I would imagine. And when you've got, I mean, maybe not millions, but they're making a lot. I know that Warming had reported that they were making over $1 million a year. So, and I know Turtle Wow makes more than they do. So. Yeah, I remember Phoenix. I never played on it though, but I know which server you mean. Oh, I forgot to turn on war mode. Shit. But we can turn on war mode anytime. But I can't turn on war mode because this is a hardcore character. Well, that sucks. So my paladin's got war mode on, but my paladin's not hardcore. So. Hmm. You didn't know they were making more than Warmane? Well, they don't have any affiliation with Warmane. I was just saying Warmane makes a lot of money. I like war mode just for the battlegrounds because you get it. You know, you get like experience bonus in battlegrounds. Like if you win battleground stuff, you get like 20% experience bonus. I think in battlegrounds. So when you win a battleground, you get quite a bit of experience. But again, this is hardcore characters, so like war mode's kind of isn't really gonna work for this character. It's not like I'm gonna. Unless they let you do battlegrounds where if you die to battleground, it doesn't count towards killing your hardcore character, which I have no idea how that works. In most versions of hardcore, that's not the case. You can't die at all. That includes battlegrounds. Oh, he was just like camping AV? That is not very smart. I know Cargos had some friends that protected him. He was doing hardcore and he camped AV to get the PvP weapon. But he had like friends in there with him protecting him in case somebody tried to kill him. You can tell the screenshot, that's hilarious. Yeah, that's not very smart.
What brings you
We have 4 minutes and 43 seconds. Do we have time enough to go up the tower? I think we do. Let's try it. We should have time. He tried to lip, and he limited invulnerability potion. Are you saying he petried? I'm a little confused. Are you saying you didn't kill him? You said he petried? Nah, he did pop his petri, but then you saw him again, huh? That's funny. That's funny. You made him look like a fool. Howard, what's up, Howard? Yeah, we're just doing a little hybrid melee, hardcore hybrid melee hunter. You know, basically melee hunter, and I mean, do mostly. You know, we're going to use our ranged abilities to get to level 10 so we can get our pet. But once we get our pet, we'll be doing mostly melee after that. Needed a break from the Protection Paladin. After getting the Protection Paladin at 29, I was like, oh, I need a break. Oh, I forgot about that quest. Shit. It's definitely... Yeah, I think I've done this before. Only about 100 times, right? Well, I only played Ebok to like level... You know, I played it to like level 12 or something. I would say that the ore nodes were too... The nodes, like the ore nodes for sure, were way too populated. But outside of that, I mean, I didn't really have a problem with Epoch. Outside of the fact that the node, there were way, you know, like ore was way too plentiful, which kind of ruins the economy in my opinion. I like, even though the turtle wild here, it's a pain in the ass to get ore. Like it's a huge pain to get ore and herbs because there just aren't as many. I think it's better for the state of the economy that it is difficult. You know, people aren't like progressing. And obviously there was RMT, real money transactions, where they had to ban a bunch of people on Epoch today. Or yesterday, I guess. That sucks that people are already trying to cheat. But the biggest thing about... So really the game itself, like, it was okay. I didn't do any of the new... I mean, I've done the Dead Mines on Epoch before. I've played Epoch. You know, I've played a couple of their betas years ago. But I guess the biggest thing that... I didn't like what they did to Goldshire. I thought Goldshire was an abomination. I hated what they did to Goldshire. There were quite a few bugs. There was some early phasing going on where you were like phasing in and out, which was kind of weird.
I am listening.
But yeah, I mean, really, it wasn't bad. I mean, Epoch, like the server itself, I mean, it was on a 3.3.5a client, so that coupled with the TBC talent trees, which I think TBC talent trees are some of the best talent trees that WoW has. But again, I just don't trust. So it wasn't really anything against the gameplay so much as it was against the people who made it. You know, K-Toads to me comes across as arrogant and kind of a dick. So I just didn't, you know, even though like they got the servers up and running, that was mostly Dutch and his team. So the fact that K-Toads was still the creative people behind Epoch, I just didn't have any faith in the long-term direction of the project. And I think so far we've kind of seen that the population on Epoch has kind of dropped off a little bit. Whereas the population on AmberShire has gone up to like an insane amount, like 13,500. So I gotta fix something here real quick. Why is that not working? No. That's why. I think we decided we didn't need to use that macro. Let's get rid of that. Ah. Because there was an hour-long interview with him where they were talking to him before the first initial release of Epoch, and he was basically talking about. You can go watch the video; it's on the original Epoch forums, and he was just basically talking about how they asked him a question like, "What would happen if like the server crashed, or what if Blizzard told you had to shut down one of your servers or something?" He's like, "Oh, we could have another server up in like a couple hours, no problem." I mean, he just the way he talked in the interview was very. He just came across as very arrogant. And there's more than that. There was just his comments. Let's see. This one here. This post here. Okay, someone in the forums basically said, K-Totes, by God, can you at least keep people informed about everything? For example, when is the launch? Today or tomorrow? Next week? Never. K-Totes' response to that, you're all assuming we even want, in italics, want to give you a fixed time. Once we get the next patch shipped, we will switch on basically any time we want. To me, I read this as, I will splash the pot any fucking time I want. One of the worst things we could do is a repeat of, yo, everyone, log in at X time. We need a semi-slow trickle the first hour or two. But this came across as very kind of douchebaggery. Like, you're all assuming we even want to give you a fixed time. Once we get the next patch shipped, we will switch on basically anytime we want. Basically, he's telling people to fuck off, right? So, and that wasn't the only one. There were other posts by him, right? And here, like, someone said, man, I just want to register and play with the boys like it's 2004. K-Totes, considering Blizzard stopped selling copies, had massive performance issues, had to suddenly spin up new hardware and was on fire for the first few months, you kind of are. So he's basically saying that their whole launch was so bad. And this guy said, I want to play like 2004. He was basically kind of joking on this guy saying, oh, you basically are because our server fucking sucks. Right? So just his attitude, man. His attitude was just not good. Yeah, it's just not good. And that's just a couple examples. There were plenty of examples of K-Totes coming across as kind of a dick. There were a lot of examples, right? And then just the lying, the constant lying, saying that like that one soft release was, wasn't the real release. That was a lie. And then saying that Magic was still on the team when he obviously wasn't. That was a lie. And there was quite a few lies that they were, that they were kind of caught in. So again, just the team in general, I don't have much faith in them. So. No, Blank was asking me why I, what do I, because I had said that I thought K-Totes came across as kind of arrogant and douchebaggery, and he was asking me why, so I was just giving him an example of some of K-Totes' wonderful rapport with the community, basically, Hey, what's up, Manimal? No, just YouTube. I don't like Twitch. I don't like Twitch's fucking interface. I don't like all the crap. I don't like all the ads. I don't really care for Twitch. I'd have a lot more viewers if I did, though. Be a hell of a lot better if you did, man. You got any weed? Nah, man. Why, man? 'Cause it'd be a lot cooler if you did. No, you did, McGiggles? What's up, man? I've been streaming or playing WoW for a fucking long time, dude. We don't really need this rested XP. Or no. Yeah, no, we can get rested. Yeah, we're not. Oh, this is a hardcore character. Nice. Yeah, exactly. Yep. You need to keep getting older, man. These servers just stay the same, right? That's the beauty of vanilla WoW.
Greetings.
Oh wow, they give you a wand for that quest. Well, why aren't you playing it now, McGiggles? Why aren't you playing it now? Get to level 36? Nice. Yeah, I got to like 29 and I was just like, I could have got to 30, but I was like, I kind of wanted to play the hunter. You know, get the hunter rolling. Gotta be careful though. This is a hardcore character. I tend to take hardcore too casually, and on Turtle WoW, the mobs are actually quite a bit more difficult. So gotta be a little bit more careful. You can get like 20. You're saving gold, and you got like 20. Nice, dude. You're doing good.
I assist you.
Mm.
The next one.
Get a fancy mount. All your hobies. That's why, yeah, that's why Turtle WoW is rolling the dough, man, because everybody's buying the tokens. Yeah, I love playing WoW to Skyrim music, man. And the web spider silk is different color than they've changed the spider silk multiple times now. Regular spider silk that used to be purple in color is now green, and now this quest item, which used to be purple, I think, is now brown. So interesting. It's always cool to see Turtle WoW with their little changes like that. Yeah. Ah, there's PvP in Turtle in Battlegrounds. I mean, I've already done about 6,000 or 7,000 honor on my protection paladin in Battlegrounds. So the other thing too, is from what I could tell on Epoch, people were complaining about the Battleground queues. Yeah, there'd probably be better Battleground queues on this server than there are going to be on Epoch, and because there's more people on this server than there is on Epoch. You know. Well, I mean, if you're playing on Epoch's, PvP server, but I don't think Yarabashi has the best population, so. Yeah. You better have to get your friends to play here, to be honest, I think. The Guru has 5,000, yeah. Well, Turtle WoW hit 13,000. Turtle WoW hit 13,500 today. Yeah, it's crazy. It's up from last weekend too. Last weekend it was around 11,500, so it's up 2,000 players over last weekend's peak, which is crazy. And I guarantee you, a lot of those people that are coming to Turtle WoW are coming from Epoch. FOMO is a hard thing. Once the ball starts rolling downhill, you know what I mean? We've seen it in classic servers over and over again. If you have two servers that are kind of competing, for example, if you have like two PvP servers in the United States, if one of them starts to lose players and the other one starts to gain players, then it switches. You know what I mean? Hey man, thanks for the sub, Brambach. Yeah, I appreciate it. Once the once the players start to shift, it starts this like landslide. It avalanches, man. You know what I mean? I agonized over which one to play on because I wanted to play on Epoch originally, but I didn't even AmberShire didn't even exist yet, right? And then all of a sudden, WoW said, "Hey, we're going to release a new server." And at the time when they said that was when Epoch was having all those problems, and I'm like, "Well, I'll just play on AmberShire because Epoch looks like it's not even going to launch." You know what I mean? Yeah, and like what Manimal's saying, there are a lot of bugs on Epoch, and I've heard that from other people too, saying there are quite a few bugs on Epoch. So. But I mean, if you really want to progress with your characters, playing on both really isn't a good idea. It just isn't. I mean, not if you see. I mean, if you're like most WoW players like me, you're eventually going to have 2 or 3 characters at least, right? Like I'll have a hunter, I'll have my protection paladin, and I've got a warlock that I'm thinking about leveling, right? So I'm not going to have like 6 different characters I'm trying to level 60. That's just too time consuming, right? If I had 3 characters on each server, for example. Hmm. Once we get our pet, we won't be doing much ranged abilities anymore. It'll be almost all melee. We just haven't gotten there yet. Just getting to the point where we have a pet is kind of, it's way too slow. If you try to do melee from 1 to 10, it sucks. I've done it before multiple times. It's just a pain in the ass. Pay to win? Do we want to swipe the old, use some of our turtle credits here to get maybe a field repair bot and maybe a mule? Nah, maybe not yet.
Greetings. Illuminating. Vishnu Allah.
Illumined like
You don't handle Fortnite. Fortnite. Oh man. I played Fortnite before it was the battle royale, like when it was just a single player game. You know, Save the World was what it was called, which I loved. Actually, I loved the shit out of that, to be honest. If you go to, let's see.
If I don't kind of a castle in the front.
This is me building my. This video was 8 years ago. This is me building a massive castle in Fortnite. Check it out. I was building a front gate. I've got side balconies. Just to get these resources in Fortnite back in the original game, Save the World, took forever, right? You know, I had to run certain things over and over and over again to collect the right resources. But you can see I had this massive, like, it's almost like a spaceship castle, to be honest. And then I built like kind of an outcropping building, whatever you would call this, some sort of a shed or a utility building. Yes, this was definitely many a fortnight ago. Check out the interior of my base, my castle. Right? There, you can see it. You can see I built walls that go up every side. See all these little like wooden walkways? Look at this. So you can go up from the bottom, walk up any of these pathways all the way. I built scaffolding around the entire inside of the base. Check it out. This is before Battle Royale even existed. You know, Fortnite was originally created by Epic Games, you know, the makers obviously of the Unreal game engine. Fortnite was originally created by Epic Games as a prototype, as a way to increase the development tools of the game itself, of the game engine. They wanted to create a game that allowed them to create the ability for a character to, in their game engine, to pick up items, to equip items, to do destructible type stuff, to do building. So somebody's like, somebody blew my darter a kiss. Yeah, but it was originally created for them to develop some of the systems they wanted to have inside the game, so that they could develop other types of games. You know, one of those games ended up being their MOBA, which was, or whatever, it was like their League of Legends style game. It was a MOBA. I can't remember what it's called, but the cool thing about the MOBA game they had is it never really took off. It was a cool game though. It was actually pretty fun. It never took off, but they released all the assets, the character models, the art assets, everything for that game, which they spent millions of dollars developing. They released completely for free. So anybody who wants to use the Unreal game engine can use any of those assets, any of those character models, completely for free. So But yeah, I've always been a big fan of Epic Games because they, Sweeney's always gone to bat for game developers. He went up against Unity because Unity was doing bullshit with their stupid terms. Like when you would go into the Unity game engine and you would try to they basically rigged their contracts, so they were getting quite a bit of money from game developers. Whereas the Epic game engine, up until you make $100,000 on your game, you pay them literally nothing. Like you don't pay them anything. You can download the Unreal Engine, use it, develop your game, and up until your game makes $100,000, you don't owe them a cent. The reason they created the Epic Games Store was because they didn't like how Steam was taking all the money from the developers, right? Like if you're developing games and putting it on the Steam platform is taking like 30% of the revenue or something around that to those thereabouts from the game developer. So it was really awful. And Epic said that's ridiculous. And so Epic's store, if you release a game on their store, I think they only take like 15%. So like half of what Steam would take.
How may I help?
So people like to bash Epic Games, but until you really understand the mindset of one of the main guys behind Epic Games, you really don't have any right to bash them. They care very much about the game developers, and because they're game developers themselves. I forgot we get this quest up here. Well, we'll grab that later. We'll deal with that quest later. I forgot to grab my skinning knife, so I'm going to try to get my skinning knife. I don't know where the general goods vendor is inside of Darnassus. I think I know where it is. It's either here, right here, or right here. Here, right, general goods. Here we go. All right, I was correct then. Yeah, I mean, the fact that people were bashing Epic Games, and they're also bashing Epic Games. Like people like to say, "Oh, this game was made by Unreal Engine, so it sucks." They all look the same, right? Well, of course they do. It's because people that are making these games are trying to save money, so they're using the in-game assets, right? Like if you go into Epic Games, right? If I launch the Epic Games and I go into the game engine, you've got all of the assets, right? Are in. So if I launch the engine here, just launch it. They took all of the Megascan's resources, right? And they put them into it was a separate program at one point, and you had to go in there and grab what assets you wanted, and then you would import them into the Unreal Engine. Well, all that stuff's free, right? Like you can use so many of these assets in the game engine for free. So if you're a games developer, they don't want to waste a lot of time developing a lot of the assets from the ground up. So they're just grabbing assets that are already available to them, right? And to save money. So of course they're pulling a lot of the same grass textures, trees. And so a lot of that stuff ends up looking the same because right out of the box it looks good, right? So you can't blame Epic Games because someone's just using the same assets, right? All right, do we have our... I don't see it. Oh, it's not general goods, it's trade goods. Where is the trade goods vendor? Actually, I think it's on the other side. But if you go in here and you click the plus sign here and you go into this interface here, you basically have access to Pixel Bridge, which is basically all of the old Megascans. So I can go in here and say, oh, I want like a 3D plant. I want a tree, right? Garden plant, herb, weed, or let's just say I want some grass or something. I don't know, ground cover, maybe I want this ground cover, right? And I could drag it down into if I can do it here. Grass clumps preview. I'm trying to remember, I haven't done this in a while. You should just be able to drag it in, but you can basically import any of these things into your project. And so people really quickly, you know, they're like, why would I want to develop this stuff when I can just go into Epic's games and for free grab any of this shit? You know, oh, I want some water lilies. Here they are. Just use those. So anybody who's making games in the Unreal Engine, a lot of them are just using these assets that are available to them for free. So of course the games end up looking kind of the same, right? Instead of customizing your own, right? Instead of customizing your own stuff, right? Like if I go into Blender and I want to see, do we have a recent? And I go into here, and you can see here, I've crafted my own. I created this myself. This is like a low poly tree. Like if I want to do like a low poly video game, and I craft this tree, it's going to look very unique and custom to my game because I made it. You know, I didn't just like import, you know, import something from, you know, the Quixel Briggs Megascans library. So it's just not really fair for people to be like, oh well, you know, Epic Games, like, you know, all their games look the same. It's not the game. Don't blame the game engine is what I'm trying to say. Blame the game developer. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So it kind of pisses me off when people rag on the games that are coming out in the Unreal Game Engine and saying they all look the same. Well, it's not the engine's fault. You can make all kinds of games. And actually, you should really take a look at it. If you do this, it's kind of fun to do this too. Go and do a search for games made by Unreal Engine, right? And these are all Unreal Engine 5 games. And as you can see, there's quite a few of them. Then go ahead and start looking at some of these games, right? Oh, Lego Fortnite. What's that look like, right? So does this game here look like a lot of these other so-called games that were made by Unreal Engine 5? Not really, right? It looks completely different because the stuff's custom made. We know the Oblivion Scrolls, Elder Scrolls 4, you know, remastered was basically an Unreal Engine overlay. Actually, that's a pretty good one to look at too, right? Check this out. All right, if you go into Oblivion Remastered gameplay, now this doesn't look like every other Unreal Engine 5 game, right? Like a lot of people say, well, this game looks like an Unreal Engine 5 game. I don't think you'd ever go into Oblivion 4 Remastered and say this looks like an Unreal Engine 5 game. I mean, because it still has kind of a Elder Scrolls look to it. But it's using the creation engine inside of wrapped in the Unreal 5 engine, right? So they actually made an interface so the Unreal Engine 5 could talk to the creation engine. So anyway, it's like, I guess it's a pet peeve of mine when people are like, Unreal Engine 5 games suck or they all look the same. It's like, you know, learn what you're talking about before you start talking about it. Where is there a trade? There's got to be a trade goods vendor here, right? There's got to be. I'm not seeing one. General trade. Maybe general trade has a trade. General trade supplier. This should work, right? Yeah, that's skinning knife. That's what we want. Skinning knife. And now that we've got our skinning knife, we're going to murder every deer we see, right? Because we need to level our skinning. And one of the easiest ways to level our skinning is to kill deers and rabbits at the beginning of the game. Because they're easy to skin. They're considered low level. Yeah, I still think this is a little too high. Move that down. You guys didn't know I'm completely anal about my interface. I can't help it. I have a problem. My interface must look good or it drives me nuts. I got a problem, people. Yeah, my low poly trees like RuneScape trees, yeah. I'm a big fan of Grant Abbott. Grant Abbott's a 3D guy, 3D designer, game developer, and 2D and 3D, and I love Grant Abbott, so I've spent time going through tutorials on his YouTube channel about creating low poly assets, and his content's really good if you guys are interested in low poly 3D art, 2D 3D art.
What brings you here?
Oh, parkour fail. Parkour fail. Parkour fail again. Oh man, I guess I'm rusty in my parkour.
Ich will da be.
It is, yeah, it is. I almost wanted to go high elf just for something different, but you just can't beat the night elf flip. I think my record is 9 flips in a row. There's 4 or 5. Oh, that's 4. I think it was 4. My record, I think, is 9. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Try to do more than 9 in a row. That's my record. Strangely enough, that's also my record for the most times failed to mine a node. Is also 9 times in a row. It is. Leave it out. It's kind of laughable when you get to 9 failures in a row. That's kind of crazy.
Good luck.
There you go. I've been streaming for a long time, but nobody nobody knows who I am. I'm a nobody. But I've been streaming WoW for a long time. And I've been playing WoW for even longer. I played WoW since beta in 2004. And man, I would love to play a new MMO, but every time a new MMO comes out, it just sucks. I did like Chrono Odyssey, but they decided to kind of go back to the drawing board and make a shit ton of changes to it, and they decided to nerf some of the content and make it easier because the players are crying like MMO players always do. MMO players always whine about, game's too hard, it's too difficult, I can't kill mobs. Which just drives me nuts. Hey, Alize. I love you, Alize. You're sexy. No, no, thanks for the sub, Alize. I think everybody loves Alize, right? But yeah, it just pisses me off when MMOs get nerfed because people complain that it's too difficult. I'm like, what are you talking about? MMOs is like one of the easiest genres to play. It's like one of the easiest genres in the world to play. Yes, thank you, Alize. Appreciate it. So yeah, in Chrono Odyssey, what the Care Bears were crying about was there's the ability to parry and block attacks, and if you parry and block attacks, you have a certain amount of time to use certain reactive attacks, because it's kind of like an action combat system, right? Well, the amount of time you have is like, apparently for some people, it wasn't enough time. They couldn't, they had a hard time pressing their keyboard key in time, which is ridiculous because there was plenty of time. Like, plenty of time. I'm like, what are you talking about? Right? Here, check this out. Yeah, here, I'll show you. Let's see, I'm sure I got it. Here, this will demonetize my stream, but I'm okay with that. So this is Chrono Odyssey, and I'm playing like the swordsman, right? Or I like to say the swordswoman because it's a woman. But I'm going to execute a couple of reactionary attacks, right? Where I block and counter, right? Watch. I'm going to do it once with the sword and shield, and I'll do it later with dual swords. Right there, I block. You can see I block this attack, right? And I immediately counter with like a shield rush, right? So I block, and then because I blocked, I can counter with this other ability that's going to hit really, really hard, right? I'll just let it play in real time. It looks almost like instantaneous, though. Dual swords. Right there, counter crosscut. That was a counter into a like a kind of like if you guys ever played Vindictus, that would be like a crosscut with the dual blade character in Vindictus. I don't remember the name of the dual blade character in Vindictus, but that would be a crosscut. So the same thing here. I go in with dual blades, I parry and immediately follow into like a reactionary. Right there, it happens very quickly. Like I parried and immediately go into the crosscut. So people were crying saying that they couldn't pull these moves off. Oh, it's just not enough time, you know? And so, of course, Chrono Odyssey is adjusting the combat system for these people that are crying that they can't execute these abilities. I'm like, it's not hard, right? I played the game for like a couple days and I could do it. I love that character, but I mean, that game is actually really fun. Like Chrono Odyssey, the combat is actually super fun. Well, now that we screwed up the monetization of this video because we played a song that will 100% demonetize my stream, now we got carte blanche to play whatever music we want. So let's do that. Straight unfertile. Yeah, the combat WoW is a lot more, it's a lot more simplistic. It's not that difficult. Yeah, on a rogue. I like to gouge into backstab, right? Like I'll on my rogues, I'll at low levels, I like to gouge and then move in for a backstab off of the gouge. Of course, once you get improved gouge, it's a lot easier to do that. But oh, melee hunter's yeah, melee hunter's pretty. It's pretty easy for melee hunter, I think. So let me show you. Okay, so the bread and butter of a melee hunter is always going to be savage strikes, right? You're definitely going to need savage strikes. Turtle WoW goes a step further. I've played melee hunter a lot on classic WoW, so in classic WoW it's a little different, right? Like in classic WoW, you would actually do it. Melee hunter in classic WoW, if you want to push the most damage you can, you're going to be going. You're actually going to go BM, right? So this is the spec I would do for a melee hunter in like classic WoW. And this works out really well because you're getting savage strikes, you're getting improved damage. Now, remember, it's crit increased by 20% on Mongoose Bite and the Raptor Strike, but you got to realize in classic WoW, Mongoose Bite's not usable all the time like it is in Turtle WoW. In Turtle WoW, there's quite a few more changes. And then you're going to go for Clever Traps, which increases your damage by 30%. And of course, you want Trap Mastery. But again, in classic WoW, you can't lay traps while in combat. In Turtle WoW, that's completely different. So in Turtle WoW, you're definitely going to want Savage Strikes. Here, let's go. It's interesting that when I flipped to this, it already had a build set up. I wonder if this is... when I flipped to this, I can see there's already a build here, which kind of... Yeah, this might... I wonder why... It must have... I must have went to like a cached URL, but... This is probably my Melee Hunter PvP build. Yeah, so... Actually, this looks correct. So, like, I go into Swift Reflexes, right? I want to increase my parry and my attack speed. I go into Improve Slaying. Again, this is more of like a Melee Hunter PvP build. And then Improve Wing Clip. Again, you may not go this if you're going for like a PvE build, but this is a PvP build, right? And then you get Savage Strikes, of course. You're only going to get 6% crit versus 20, but you still want it. Entrapment's really good for PvP. Again, this is for a PvP build. Survivalist 5 out of 5. Carve, I don't really like Carve that much, but the reason I get Carve is because I want to go down and I want to get Lacerate, which I haven't had a chance to play around with in the 1.18 patch. I played Melee Hunter in the previous patch with Turtle Wild, not this new one, so this is just something that I want to try out. I do like the fact that it's kind of like a side, like there's a side effect to it. Like you have to hit mobs from like the side, like deepen your target's open wound dealing damage equal to 30%. Can only be used after critically striking your target. Using this ability from the side increases its damage. So if you critically strike your target, then you move to the side. So it's going to be really interesting to time this ability, and that may be kind of hard. So have to play. Of course, lightning reflexes you should definitely get. Trap mastery, you're definitely going to want to get it. It's going to increase the chance. It's going to decrease the chance they have to resist your traps. It's going to increase your trap damage. And then of course you want vicious strikes, which just reduces the cooldown on Raptor Strike and Mongoose Bite, which is great because that's your bread and butter abilities is Mongoose Bite and Raptor Strike. And then of course you're going to want Empty Trapper because it lets you drop your traps while in combat, but it also increases your trap damage. So this ability, and I thought there was even one other ability. All increase. It used to be this one. I think Vicious Strikes maybe. Right now it's just Trap Mastery and Untamed Trapper. Oh, and I think it's just those two that increase your trap damage. I believe. I thought there was one. There used to be another one. Right? There used to be another one, but they might have changed it. I think they patched this out. I think Vicious Strikes used to increase your trap damage or something. It did something else. Maybe increase your Raptor Strike and the damage of these abilities, but they patched it out and they nerfed it. And then, of course, over here, just there's nothing else. I mean, you can go Swift Aspects if you want, but honestly, I played around with Swift Aspects and I found it to be pretty much garbage. Although it looks like... Yeah, so let's reset this one. So here, if you go with aspects, what's going to happen is it's going to give you a chance to proc. It gives you a 10% chance to proc a 15% attack speed increase. The problem with this is you have to be in aspect of the wolf, right? Right? An aspect of the wolf is okay if you're kind of trying, because you're going to get more melee attack damage in aspect of the wolf. So this is probably what you're going to want to go with. But what I didn't like was this improved primal aspect, that when you're in aspect of the wolf, it gives you 6% of your damage back as healing, so it's like a leech, but I tested it out, and it's pretty weak. It felt really weak. Like, I didn't feel like I was getting much out of it. 6% is not a lot. Like, if I hit somebody for 100 damage, okay, I'm getting 6 health back, right? 6, right? I mean, 10% would be 10. So if you did, like, 2,000 damage, what are you getting back? You're getting, what, like, 120 or something? It's not a lot. It's not a lot. So, but anyways, so do you want to increase your stamina and your pet's stamina, or do you want to increase your attack speed? Again, this really comes down to how much you're sitting in aspect of the wolf. In aspect of the wolf, you are going to get around 70 attack power when you're right in your level 40s. So I'm not sure what it is at max rank, but what do I think of? So, I mean, that's kind of like the Swift aspects to me. It's really it's pretty good. It does proc a lot, right? Because if you're going to do Melee Hunter, in my opinion, you should definitely 100% be dual wielding. I'd say the same thing even in Classic WoW. Like, I think dual wield is superior because you're going to basically set up more like a rogue where you're going to have a slow main hand, fast offhand, and you can also get a chance on both weapons, which is going to really help. And there's some new chance that really help Melee Hunters out in Turtle WoW. But yeah, I think it's okay. I think it's okay. I think for PvP, I haven't had a chance to play around in PvP enough with it, but I think it's going to be interesting between the two. So I do think, add 30% of your stamina to that of your pets and increase the health of your pets. So that's actually kind of garbage, actually. I thought it added stamina to you, but it doesn't. So yeah, definitely I would go Swift Aspects here. Definitely 100%. The only time I would go endurance is if you were just BM or something. Um, and they ruined BM because now the capstone talent is hot dog on a stick. Me and Vol say like to joke around this hot dog. It's like, oh, we used to have bestial wrath, but now we've got a hot dog, right? Which is just kind of stupid to be honest. Um, but yeah, I would go go this, and then of course the coordinated assault probably, yeah. And then I would go with the improved eyes to beat because while channeling Eyes of the Beast, your pet deals additional. No, I wouldn't. I'm sorry. Don't go with that. I don't know why that was on that other build. How many talents? We got 3 talent points left. I mean, for PvP, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Coordinate assault. It'd be nice to get coordinate assault, but for melee hunter for PvP, it's not necessary. Your pet's not going to really be talent spec'd into doing a shit ton of damage. You could go. I don't know. How much do we need to get into this one? Just 2. That's probably why I went 2 into improved Eyes of the Beast. Increase duration of the Beast while channeling your pet deals 30% more damage. Additional damage against 30% increased focus regeneration. So I guess if you, I don't know, it's kind of weird. I don't know why you'd be channeling that though. So yeah, that's kind of garbage. I would probably just go 2 here and like that. This would be like a decent like melee hunter PvP build, I think. Anyway, but it's interesting because I haven't done it. Yeah, no problem, Josh. I mean, I haven't done it yet. I haven't played around with this tree enough yet to really know for sure. But most of my builds that I do are focused on PvP. Like I like to do PvP, so I don't do raids really hardly ever. I find raids to be boring, and I don't play well with others too much. So I like to do like different builds and specs, and I like to try them out in battlegrounds and stuff like that. So this ought to be interesting. I think this would be a pretty fun build, and it'll still be good for PvE as well. It's just not going to be super high damage. Although from what I've heard from other people, melee hunter is pretty good. You know what I mean? Like survival hunter does do pretty decent damage. So I guess we'll find out.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Okay, I don't want to die.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
I don't really want to die on this. This is lame. That is so lame. That is so lame. Oh my god, that was so lame. That was so lame, dude. So someone had done the quest to turn the quest in to spawn those guys. I didn't realize that was the exact quest that was going to spawn those guys. And there's nothing I could do. Once they spawned, I was dead. So watch this. He had turned in the quest for the guy to plant. And I knew that someone had turned a quest in, but I didn't realize it was going to spawn those 3 guys, right? And so as soon as it does, like I'm going to grab this quest. As soon as it spawns these guys, I'm dead. At this point, I'm 100% dead. All I did was run away. I didn't attack him at all. And I'm dead. So that was just really bad. Really bad timing. That was really bad timing, man. That was really bad timing. Man. Anyways, no, we'll do it again, but it's pretty late. I'm gonna go to bed. We'll just re-roll. I was only level 7, but that was like that was some really bad timing right there. Let's just leave. Oh my goodness. That was and I like knew I was probably dead when they spawned, because the thing in Turtle WoW is the reset timer on stuff is longer. So like they will chase you longer. So yeah, that was just bad, man. That was some really bad luck right there. All right. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna get to sleep. I'll pick it up tomorrow. We just level 7. We'll get back to level 7. Actually the first time I've died on hardcore in Turtle in probably like 4 or 5 years or something, but that was pretty funny. But I'll pick it up tomorrow. We'll just re-roll. It won't take long to get back to level 7. What was that? I guess it's like an hour. The one good thing is we have all the stuff set up and all the keybinds and the macros. So it should be all set up for us. We just basically re-roll with the same character name. Where's my paladin? Yeah, but I'll catch you guys later. Hope everybody has a good night, and we'll just pick it up. I'll just re-roll tomorrow, and we'll fly past that. That was funny. All right, I'll catch you guys later, man. Have a good one. Peace out.